These are incredible scenes that came out of Islamabad a few days ago. On May 25th, ousted PM Imran Khan led a large demonstration to the capital, while PTI protests also broke out in cities across the country. A significant amount of violence ensued, especially in Islamabad. Police fired tear gas in the city and arrested demonstrators, while some of Islamabad's trees and green belts, especially in Dicho, were set on fire, allegedly by PTI protesters. This is an unbelievable situation. I did not expect that Imran Khan's long-awaited Azadi March would result in so much damage. It shows that Pakistan is in a volatile state and civil unrest is a significant risk nowadays. More is likely to come. Imran Khan called off his march after the day of protesting and said that if the government does not announce new elections, he would return in 6 days when June comes and, quote, bring the entire nation to the capital. That's tomorrow. Anything could happen. Outbreaks of civil unrest are therefore a big concern for PPLDM, and we are shocked by what happened in our beautiful and scenic city. Islamabad is renowned for its greenery. The fires set a few days ago were not only destroying what was important for the people of Islamabad, but also posed a big danger to them. However, for a humanitarian organization like PPLDM, civil unrest and violence can be problematic to tackle because they are contentious political matters. We want to protect people's lives and well-being without getting drawn into society's rows. After the recent protest, I did a lot of research on tear gas, which police use to control riots, but it is hard to work on protecting people from them without coming across as partial. We recommend that elderly people or those with health conditions like asthma should avoid going to protests. We may be seen as undermining the cause. We tell people how they can protect themselves from tear gas, like by wearing masks and goggles and carrying water. It can look like we are supporting the protests. But the issues that inevitably arise from civil disturbances still have to be addressed for the good of public safety. Like the allegations made by PTI activists that police used expired tear gas shells against the Azadi marchers, which is serious as tear gas chemicals become more harmful when they break down. Or how, before the march, Imran Khan called for women, children and the elderly to come out and participate. This ignited a row as people accused him of using human shields. PPLDM, for our part, does not want the most vulnerable segments of society to be exposed to dangerous situations. Learning to navigate such issues is important now, as we are in a period in which civil unrest is more likely than ever in Pakistan and around the world. There is an unprecedented and unrelenting global food crisis in the form of rising food prices, which is always a powerful instigator of protests and riots. Today's food shortages are caused by countless factors: the war between Russia and Ukraine, the after effects of the pandemic, relentless extreme weather all around the globe. There is going to be a lot of hardship and hunger in the days ahead with all its ramifications, so we must brace ourselves. People are suffering and will be suffering even more, and this could cascade into other problems like unrest, even war as seen in many parts of the world. And when people do take to the streets, they are likely to run into a grave problem in the form of extreme heat. This year has so far has seen incredible heat waves, including record-breaking ones in India and Pakistan that have devastated crop harvests and given us a year without a spring. One such heat wave took place in Pakistan on the day of the Azadi March. Now that June is coming, things are likely to get hotter, and if people take to the streets then, they will suffer badly. That too with shade providing trees in Islamabad destroyed by the fires. All of this shows us one thing, that Pakistan and the rest of the world continue to be in an era of crisis. Even with the worst of the pandemic over for now, in this globalized and environment impacting world, all sorts of things are continuing to plunge our lives into chaos and disaster. Pakistan needs to make itself resilient in the face of what the coming days will bring. As the last 2 years make very clear, we must be prepared for everything. We have to be innovative and adaptive. Most important of all, Pakistanis must not react to the difficulties by squabbling and fighting with each other. Finally, may God be with us.